Okay, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and thank you for joining our Pulse on Networks webinar, episode 8. So my name is Jari Augustin. I'm the CEO of Creanord, and this time we have a special guest, a true specialist in 5G, a specialist in cybersecurity and service assurance applications, Mr. Sesh Ponnekanti, who's like a 5G marketing manager for Illuminate.
Good day for everyone.
And today we will talk how to monetize the digital experience excellence. You know, we at Creanord and many other companies in the area of service assurance and performance monitoring talk a lot how to improve the quality in the networks. So what kind of technology should be used? Is it active and passive monitoring or both? We do talk a lot about the standards, TWAMP, Y1564, RFC 2544, etc. So how to monitor the bandwidth, how to monitor application usage, and so on. We talk about the quantifiable benefits too, so like how much outage isolation times can be reduced, how much the overall quality in the networks can be improved, and so on. However, you don't find that much information how to monetize the digital experience excellence. So how to monetize a high-quality network and service, how to generate more revenue streams with the performance management and service assurance tools. And that is what we will be talking for the next 35 minutes. So we will start by presenting why customer satisfaction is so important for the service provider. So actually, why should the service providers really care? So we will also present a few examples of the leading service provider strategies, you know, how important the excellence of the digital experience is for British Telecom or Vodafone or T-Mobile. And then we will continue with the business drivers, so environment and the requirements for the telecommunication services have been significantly growing the past year, mainly because of the pandemic. We are more dependent on the telecommunication services than ever before. We have seen new use cases like telehealth services, distant learning, working from home, and this will be the new normal. So there's no way going back and and this will have an impact how the networks and services need to be managed going forward. And then we will go through the real topic. So why performance monitoring plays such a vital role for our digital experience. So how you, as a service provider, can monetize the digital experience by using performance monitoring tools, and how service providers can broaden their service a la carte for services, for business services. And we will also have a few examples too. And in the end, we will give a brief summary how Illuminate and Creanord will help you to get there. But before going into the actual topic, a few words about our companies, about Creanord and Illuminate. So we'll start with Creanord. So we are based in Helsinki, Finland, and we are specialists in active network measurements, or in active service assurance. So during the last 2 decades, we have developed solutions for communication service providers to enable them actively and accurately track network performance, accurately track network quality, and support them to build outperforming networks. So that's what we do. So Creanord is like a specialist in active network assurance with more than 20 years of experience in this industry and in these applications. So our technology has been implemented in 30 plus countries and in more than 50 networks worldwide. So we do have a global presence. And we work mainly with the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 operators, wholesalers, and cloud and critical communication providers. But that's all from my side. So over to you, Sesh.
Thank you, Jari. I must say I'm delighted and thank you everyone who is listening to this webinar. My name is Sesh Ponnekanti and I work in 5G marketing. Illuminate Technologies has a pedigree in this domain. We have been providing solutions in the cyber detection, public safety, and network assurance and SLA verifications. So our expertise spans both legacy and as well as upcoming technologies, including the fixed line infrastructure as well as virtual infrastructure. We possess deep telecom knowledge, and we also have expertise in remote sensing, and our platforms can scale to the enterprise applications. Our domains of expertise include cloud, IoT, edge, and AI and machine learning. We have customer base across the globe, and we work with businesses and governments, and we help our customers to solve challenging problems and manage the data and provide the insights to increase the ROI. So first we want to see why customer service matter for service providers. So we notice the major trends today, including the subscriber growth and the data explosion. And this has been skyrocketing recently. At the same time, service providers are also seeing decline in the ARPU, and the demand for automation and digitization has been increasing notably. And there are compelling reasons to cut the operational costs and utilize the hyper personalization. So among these challenges, the customer satisfaction is also becomes important for service providers because it is the critical path to revenue. Customer retention and providing opportunities to repeat the revenue are important parts. At the same time, service providers need to keep the customers happy so that upselling becomes possible in that and the churn can be prevented. We need to look at who are the customers. Typically, enterprises, governments, and wholesale customers are high profitability customers. In here, as we see later, long-term relationships play an important role. At the same time, consumers are also biggest sources of revenue. However, at present, there are low barriers for consumers to shift the provider. The customer satisfaction is typically measured and quantified using various techniques. What constitutes customer experience measurement is the billing issues and the faults and then contract problems resulting from the poor customer service. So all in all, service quality or digital experience has a fundamental role in customer satisfaction. Typically, service providers use Net Promoter Score, NPS, to measure. Going forward, service providers need to monetize and meet the requirements of digital transformation through delivering on-demand customer experience. We have picked up from the Gartner's Magic Quadrant for network services. We have taken the example of two service providers, Vodafone and BT. In the case of Vodafone, the service customer satisfaction has been enabled by trying to develop a strategy that fosters deeper customer engagement and also trying to move towards digital transformation and help the service provider to improve the assets, and then finally trying to optimize the portfolio. Yeah. So this framework has been used to sell additional products and services, and also to provide additional financial services in Africa region, as per the report, where we know already some initiatives like M-Pesa and other frameworks are already very successful. If we look into the BT group, here also the pillars are the best converged network and a differentiated customer experience and simplified lean and business operations model. So the target here is to have best-in-class experience. Yeah, and also this particular service provider is trying to provide personalized digital experiences based on the converged network, which contains both 5G and the FTTP. The framework is to empower the innovation in the case of BT also. So consistent service is coming across both of these service providers, and customer satisfaction and customer experience is the underpinning requirement. So taking another example of the T-Mobile, uh, the connectivity and also the fast gigabit networking and also secure ICT solutions have been integrated into the growth strategy here. Yeah, moving towards the best quality is the target of this customer, and the revenues have been shown to be improving. Yeah, investments are also increased to meet these goals, and in the end, this customer is trying to provide customer experience at the center of the development and growth. So, because of the pandemic and the COVID, the work from home has become de facto now, and the enterprise has been noted to moving home. Although initially it has shown to increase the Wi-Fi data, going forward, it is anticipated that the telecom services and the data volume will pick up. If we look at the statistics now, in February, it is 12.2% of voice usage, and the data usage has gone up by 28.4%. So there are opportunities here for connectivity providers, especially for the enterprises, to offer a secure connectivity to serve the data explosion that has resulted from this pandemic. So there are different parts to this COVID. It has impacted in every facet. So distance learning, telehealth, online retail, and e-commerce. These segments have actually seen a major boost. And there is also plans to be able to adopt home and remote working in the long term. This is actually backed by decisions by the CFOs to make remote work as a permanent option. And also many people are permanently moving office workforce to this new model, and the companies are investing in providing the new conferencing tools and the new methodologies to work from home. So based on these trends, now service providers have an opportunity to keep people and businesses connected safely by high-speed connectivity and secure transactions. So we can see from the Gartner reports, the data here shows that there will be increase of the network utilization going forward due to this pandemic. For service providers, the important point is the network performance will play a deeper role. And this network performance has to be supported by measuring, managing, and monitoring the network. In measuring the network, you have to understand the current situation and glean the real performance of the network and the service performance, and then identify the weakest points and also assess the impact on the customer experience. Then in the next stage, the management would involve defining certain performance targets that a service provider want to achieve, and then undertaking some correlative actions that are necessary to fix these weak points. This process is the network optimization. And then monitoring one is to run the business as usual with the stricter SLAs. That means keeping constant visibility to the network and services and understanding how the end users perceive this service and keeping in touch with the customers. And finally, switching into proactive mode to be able to prevent any network outages. These three aspects require holistic and detailed visibility across the network, and service performance remains the foundation for service providers to achieve this performance and hence monetize the digital experience in that process. We would like to split this into three parts. The monetization journey has to be taken throughout the life cycle, meaning from the ideation to the revenue generation. Especially when you look into the consumers, they are looking at the brand. And when we look at the enterprises in the 5G era, an enterprise typically buys an ICT enabled by 5G. And the governments develop on the relationships, and the public sector also depends on the relationships. So combining these things, there are three dimensions to undertake this monetization journey. So the first one is the service providers can look into broadening the service offerings, which we are calling here as a new service options a la carte menu with new premium SLA options. So we will go into the examples of realizing these premium SLAs. And the second part would be to go and work on offering the user experience and putting differentiators like low latency into the mix. Yeah, and try to monetize that particular differentiation. And together with these two aspects, the third one that goes hands in hand with is building trust and confidence with the users, building the trust internally also on the technology and utilizing the visibility to help. So by observing the NPS and making sure the customers are happy, there is an option, there is an opportunity to acquire new customers and also minimize the churn and increase the potential of the revenues from the existing customers while attracting the new customers. So this would help broaden the market share. This threefold approach will be detailed with some examples in the next slide. So in the case of a la carte example, there is an opportunity to have granular service level parameters rather than providing a single SLA. Here, the SLAs can be broadened and the business services can consume these details. For example, SLA parameters can be availability, latency, jitter, packet delivery, and the detailed reporting or visibility features, bandwidth utilization, application utilization, packet capture, and the customer portal view. In each of these categories, the menu can range from basic to plus, premium, and premium plus. Premium plus can be customizable. So this new era of providing granular SLAs by pushing the usual trends of 99% availability to 99.999, 5 nines if possible, and going from latency 100 milliseconds to sub-millisecond latency, and also augmenting the SLAs with KPIs from the right-hand side table you can see. So this kind of a broader options will allow the service providers to address and cater the needs of customers by segmenting them. So in the example of the a la carte, there is also option to be able to provide differentiated service within the region. For example, big innovative tier 1 service providers can offer new wholesale services to other service providers or MVNOs or businesses or government customers. Here, there is an opportunity to offer the previously mentioned granular SLAs within a region and also trying to respond to the premium customers with a very tighter SLAs. How this can be achieved? This can be achieved by incorporating Ethernet connectivity service and trying to offer new stricter SLAs, tighter delay bounds, and providing portals that provides the enterprises real-time visibility in a friendly manner. So in summary, the wholesale offer would enable service providers to launch premium price services to some specific customer segments so that a win-win model can be achieved and the partners can also optimize their investment in their region. Looking at different verticals, the model can be extended. The a la carte option that discussed previously now can be mapped onto a telehealth example. Now, in the example case outlined here, a hospital in Belfast recently has announced connectivity using some one cell modular radio system, which supports multiple operators. So by extending this connectivity and introducing a platform approach, there is an opportunity for service providers to configure the network as a pandemic driven network service delivery. The healthcare segment has been attracting a lot of investment among the other verticals. So, for example, Accenture reveals that 65% of consumers and 86% of the doctors are agreeing that wearables increases patient engagement with their health. And there is also opportunities for the hospitals to reduce their costs. And inside the buildings, coverage has been a major challenge, and this has been now overcome by this new one cell modular radio deployment. Now, by leveraging that connectivity, critical healthcare services can be delivered. Here, delivering digital experience seamlessly to support the applications like high resolution X-rays, images, videos, and augmented reality and virtual reality remote monitoring. These applications require network management and monitoring. But the opportunity here is to capitalize on several use cases on the top of this platform. And those use cases are to be able to deliver the network connectivity, avoid the freezes, avoiding the slow connectivity, and also support the critical applications by micro-segmenting the users and providing the visibility into the users, and also utilize the existing cloud model. The public clouds and private clouds have their own workloads running in the enterprise. Different cloud providers are supporting different applications. By streamlining those workflows into this IT-enabled 5G platform, the data can be managed more effectively. So by providing reporting and by monitoring each of those applications, the pandemic-proof responses, enforcement of social distances, monitoring the CCTV cameras, and trying to meet the needs that will be coming from the pandemic and increasing the productivity and also the patient quality. So these can be leveraged, and this telehealth example provides an excellent bundling opportunity for service providers by preparing the platform approach on the top of the connectivity. In the 4G or 5G era, most important point and also the gateway to monetization is to make sure that the network and service have been operating flawless. So by making sure or making this foundation, the service providers customers can work from home or can utilize the distance learning opportunities and the telehealth segment, and the network can cater to the massive amount of traffic that is flowing through the network. Reliability will provide the criticality that is required for the business customers. Service outages will be minimized, and the awareness of the services and the utilization of the applications is now no longer a blind spot. To achieve these important steps in the monetization, an advanced performance monitoring tools are required. These can provide the service performance before the service provider hands over the service to the enterprises, and thereafter the bandwidth utilization is reported accurately, and then through the customer portals, timely notifications have been disseminated whenever the bandwidth variations are there. And then finally, proactively manage the network infrastructure. So by taking this life cycle approach, one can actually move into modern networks where day zero, where you install day one, you bring the system up, configure, and day three is running and day two is running and optimization. Day N is upgrading and reporting special SLAs. These new operating model is enabled by choosing the performance tools. So the network performance that we discussed previously has to be taken from inception of the service, from the cradle to the launch. So this is split into the usual frameworks of when a service is being rolled out. It is very important to get a signed off in terms of birth certificate concept. So an enterprise receives this assurance, if you like, that the service is ready to go. It's been handed over with this certificate. And then once the enterprise receives this particular service, it will be complemented by the proactive network operations, which should include comprehensive picture of various applications and associated network performance and predicting of the future network events, the traffic events, and remedial procedures. And in turn, it will provide an opportunity to utilize all the network resources and expand or justify the investments where they're already there. So, in addition to these two aspects, the third one is trying to provide services, as I said previously, in a shorter time. Once the network visibility is providing granular information, there is an opportunity for the service provider to provide optimal upgrades. Thereby, the service provider side, the assets are utilized optimally. So these three parts allow the service provider and enterprise develop a relationship, a confidence that a customer service monitoring is in place and there is an option to deal with their end customers by actively engaging with them and providing a good three-way relationship, business to business relationship. So as I highlighted, the partnership is built upon trust and confidence. The current networks are increasingly becoming mixed and siloed. The traditional models no longer apply. The service provider networks operated was now demanding a new way of management. For example, the service management needs to leverage the brand and trust, providing the stewardship for the enterprise customers. And the application management has to support scalable applications and customized end-to-end solutions for the customers. And then the service provider has to also play application enablement role where he has to provide data management and sharing the insights, sometimes revenue management and billing insights. And then even more mature way would be to manage the networks in a cloud-like way, which is network as a service model. These new business models pave the way for on-the-demand customer experience, which customers want a digital experience instantaneously. So the important point here is to be able to support the enterprise service success factors. And if you can look at the surveys, the GSMA intelligence says live reporting, visibility play an important role. Ability to see the network performance under the telco cloud like situation becomes very important. So the visibility solutions have to be enterprise friendly so that the enterprises can simply log into the portals and can get the parameters that are required rather than creating fatigue. And it has to pave the way for easy manageability, ability to investigate any anomalies, ability to navigate through the graphical interfaces to the dashboards. And a simple list of SLA compliance is also very important. So the ability to have the dashboards and the visibility features, reporting and tasking features makes the service providers more competitive and foster stronger relationship to the enterprises. So this is the real-time visibility plays a major role in the process of monetization. So in summary, there are monetizing opportunities that are supported by several aspects when they are coupled with visibility solutions which actually would provide lens into the customer experience across the various networking silos. So if we take the application distribution, there are opportunities for the visibility solution to provide the usage and the application patterns at the node Bs or at the sites or on the edge or at the Wi-Fi access points. Next step, it is trying to provide consumption patterns of the customers. Once these consumption patterns are understood, the service providers can launch targeted advertisement and revenue yielding services. So the visibility solution feeds the device trends and the domain popularities and also the various other consumption mobility patterns, for example. So these can be combined to be able to generate new services. And then the enterprise customers can be offered premium services, which would include both security and connectivity together with the analytics. So this will enable providing VIP quality of experience services to the enterprises. In the 5G era, the opportunities are increasing and the premium network slices can be offered for the enterprises so that the enterprises can use new use cases and come up with new business models. The same thing applies into the OTT partnerships, where the service providers can become partnership with the OTT provides by providing subscriber analytics and enriching the OTT with the geo analytics and trying to provide intelligent customer recommendations. So for this monetization, the service provider should have full visibility across the infrastructure and the applications and the controlling and the orchestration system supported by single pane of glass. I will now hand over to my colleague Yari to explain the service performance portfolio and visibility. Thank you, Yari.
Thanks, Sesh. So a few words about the portfolio. So Creanord and Illuminate, we have integrated our technological assets, and now we can truly provide a holistic visibility of the network, application, and service performance. So I'll mention a few key points of the combined solution. So I'll start with the measurement devices or with the probes. So the same probe, the one single probe, is capable of doing both active and passive monitoring, which also release the deploy. So the same probe can do first passive monitoring, including like a bandwidth management with microburst detection. We can do monitoring the application usage. You can do signaling monitoring and many other things too. But the same Pro platform can also do highly scalable active monitoring as well, including service activation testing. It supports all the continuous measurement protocols, including TUM, SELIN31, UDP, ECHO, and so on. And we do have a really feature-rich user experience testing capability too, including Wi-Fi testing, mobile user experience monitoring, and web application performance monitoring, and other features as well. And like mentioned earlier, so we have made it really easy to deploy this solution. So as an example, so we support capabilities such as service level, flow auto discovery, and automatic reporting, which is something really unique in this. And all these measurements are highly granular, highly scalable, highly reliable too. So microsecond level accuracy, microburst detection, and all these capabilities are supported from the network level measurements to application level measurements as well. And the high granularity and reliability are really important. Those are actually the key if you want to increase trust among your customers. So especially of the new ultra reliable low latency 5G services. So that's about for the Pro. Then we do have one single management reporting platform. We support many different high-level dashboards, like Sesh already presented a few capabilities, but then we can also drill down. So it's capable of doing performance analytics for all services and applications, really top down. And so overall, the platform can and should be used to monitor services during the whole service lifecycle. So like I mentioned earlier, so during the deployment phase, the platform supports, service activation capabilities with burst certifications. When the services are up and running, all connections can be monitored continuously and really accurately as well. The management platform supports predictive monitoring capabilities, enabling the service providers to increase the availability of their services. With these functionalities, like the really proactive network management, it will be possible to reach the 5 nines network and service availability. And this data, reliable network and services data, can be used as such within customers to increase the trust. So if you really trust on your network, if you know that you can meet the 5 nines availability, your end customer will trust you. And we have capabilities to prove that. So our portfolio provides a tool set for digital experience excellence monetization. So as mentioned before, so remember these 3 items mentioned by Sesh. So first, so with Illuminate and Creanord, service providers can broaden their service a la carte with premium services. So the solution really enables this kind of a basic plus and premium service offerings. Or will be possible to have very specific service KPI guarantees for different customers. And then two, the platform can really maximize the user experience and customer satisfaction across the service lifecycle. So we do support the network, application, and customer monitoring and automatic reporting. And because of the AI and machine learning and other predictive monitoring capabilities, service providers will have the tools to meet the highest possible quality targets. And then three, the solution can be used to build trust and confidence. So as mentioned before, the real-time SLA reporting will be a must, especially in the 5G applications. And our solution supports out-of-the-box and customer portal, or alternatively, the network quality KPIs can be easily integrated to any third-party customer portal. So we have plenty of experience. When we started the presentation, Serge talked about the transformative landscape of today's digital networks. So in this landscape, customer satisfaction, engagement, and digital experience excellence are the only ways to secure the commercial benefits of customer loyalty, and have thus become a central objective for service providers. And we showed a few examples of some key service providers are saying and doing today. And then the key enabler towards these objectives to comprehensively measure and analyze the digital experience. And this will then translate for differentiation opportunities, new revenue streams, and high customer growth. And the Creanord and Illuminate, and we will help service providers to tap this opportunity. So our solution, enables launch of new services across different verticals, enables to unlock the monetization, and can be used long-term in the post-COVID era. So that completes our presentation. So we are running out of time, but I believe we have a few questions here. So this probably will go to you, Sash.
Yeah.
So how can we monetize OTT or work from home or telehealth business use case with your advanced AI ML analytical tools?
Yeah, excellent question. So many service providers have been deciding on the realistic strategy and how to play an enabler of the healthcare services. Yeah, this could be starting off simply in the connectivity as a service. Going forward, the workflow management, as I discussed before, helps for the enterprises or developers to get used to the consuming as a cloud model. Yeah, if a service provider can provide 5G enterprise in an ICT model, this will pave the way to consume. Having said that, the hyperscalers or the cloud providers are likely to become key players in this digital healthcare too. So there are opportunities to provide data as a service or provide portal-based reporting services that we have discussed before, and then provide API connectivity. These are some of the opportunities that can provide value, but the enablement of consistent and seamless service and also getting positive feedback, especially building up the loyalty, these are important things which underlying toolset will help. For example, using the AI ML time series analytics tools, we can pinpoint the availability and also uptime. And in addition to that, we can actually help forecast the utilization so that the better experience can be managed in difficult times based on the existing workflows. So this kind of proactive, using the models that we have already and trying to bring the network utilization consistently in difficult situations is one of those challenges that we are able to meet by providing this visibility solution based on our ML. And if I may comment, Yari, there is also opportunities for service providers beyond the healthcare, there are opportunities in various other verticals. Yeah, COVID has introduced some interruptions in the first half of 2020, but going forward, there is a lot of investment in a new technology called 5G standalone architecture. And this 5G standalone architecture and the arrival of Apple's 5G devices seem to be making a tipping point for the global consumer readiness. So it's no longer in an early adoption phase. Now the business is able to explore these two combinations of standalone and the device availability, and then move forward into new value added services, because in the sports era there are opportunities to provide revolutionary fan experiences. For example, the 5G modems fixed within the helmets in the football use case enables a fan experience in a very high resolution way. So there are 22 players with 22 cameras, and that lays foundation for very new value added services and retention of the subscribers. Fan could have option of switching between their favorite players and see the feeds. Yeah, so if we support with a visibility solution to have that extra latency support that we discussed before, then I think the revenue opportunities will increase. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ash. And probably we can take another question as well. So this one is probably for me. So how can minimized end-to-end network latency enable more business opportunities to service providers? Okay, this is also a really broad question, so we could easily talk only about latency management for hours, but like, we could put like, what are the sources of latency, or what are the main factors contributing to latency, like physical location, distance, topology, use technologies of wireless or fiber, is it routing or switching, and obviously also network load and congestion. But like, anyways, like integrating this kind of real-time metrics of performance across the workflow can easily identify these sources of latency. And then based on the latency metrics, have that adjustments, routing, optimizing load balancing, or redirecting traffic in different paths will enable end-to-end latency to be at absolute minimal. But what are the actual business opportunities? There are a few data points. So the first one is like, I think it was Amazon who found a long time ago, more than 10 years, sort of 10 years ago, that the latency increase of 1 second costed 1.6 billion. I think it was in 2012. And today the figure is likely to be much, much higher because the online sales have grown, while we are also less patient with delays in connectivity. And another data point was like, I think it was Microsoft, again, like 10 years ago, found that the 1 second slowdown reduced queries by 1% and ad clicks by 1.5%. Okay, this is a small percentage, but it translates into millions of canceled clicks per day. So really a huge impact. So these kind of examples like show that like how even small changes in latency can have a significant impact on the ability to keep users on site, make purchasing decisions, or enjoy an application, and can translate directly into revenue gains and losses. And then there's another opportunity, which is 5G, obviously. So in the media, 5G is mainly about how to provide higher speeds, especially to consumers. And obviously, like consumers are interested about higher speeds, who wouldn't be? But most of the consumers just aren't willing to pay anything extra when compared to 4G. So if you look what the operators are doing today, that proves that Vodafone, Verizon, and so on aren't asking for anything extra for the 5G services from the consumers. However, 5G will be used to provide enterprise services too, and industries such as manufacturing, financial and insurance, critical communication services will require different capabilities. So they need the higher capacities, of course, at the same time, they require highest possible quality too. So these use cases include like autonomous driving, that could be augmented reality, tactile internet, healthcare applications, factory automation, robotics. So analysts are saying that 2/3 of the predicted 5G revenues will be generated by these verticals, these applications and use cases. So 2/3. And these use cases require low latency. They require latency management. And that is a huge business opportunity. Probably the 5G is the largest single business opportunity to minimize the latency.
Exactly. Yeah, that's well said there. Network is the largest sensing organ, as they say, for the customer experience, and customer experience is pivotal for monetization, as we have been saying.
So true. All right, but I guess we are done for today. My thank you for joining, and please check, visit our web pages. The webinars, the on-demand webinars are there, and I'm hoping to see you in the events in the future too. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.